Big news is shaking up H-Town Texans fans. We've finally addressed the one missing piece that could turn our offense into a true Super Bowl contender. Forget the inconsistency of the past. The front office just made a massive move to secure a powerhouse running back who is being labeled as our absolute biggest X factor for the upcoming season. Is this the missing link our star quarterback needs to dominate the league? You're not going to want to miss the details on this game-changing edition. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and drop a comment below. Let's dive into this. David Montgomery has emerged as the central figure in the Houston Texans' new offensive strategy for the 2026 season. After facing persistent challenges in establishing a reliable rushing attack during the C.J. Stroud era, the front office moved decisively this spring to acquire the veteran running back. Montgomery arrives in Houston following a productive 3-year tenure with the Detroit Lions, where he showcased his durability and effectiveness as a power runner. The team's decision to trade for the 29-year-old reflects a clear organizational commitment to balancing their offensive production. Having ranked in the bottom third of the league in rushing yards in 2 of C.J. Stroud's first 3 seasons, the Texans are now looking to pivot. The recent history of the backfield, marked by Joe Mixon's season-long injury and inconsistent output from others, created an urgent need for stability. Montgomery's track record of 2,506 yards and 33 touchdowns on 562 carries over the last 3 years provides the exact profile the coaching staff sought. By securing a player with over 8,000 career yards and 63 total touchdowns, the team is banking on his hard-nosed approach to provide the consistency they have lacked. As fans look toward the upcoming season, the expectation is that he will become the primary force for this ground game. The arrival of a veteran with this level of experience signals that the team is ready for some serious Toro time as they aim to refine their offensive identity. With the training camp focus intensifying, Montgomery's role as the centerpiece of this transformation is undeniable. His ability to handle a heavy workload will be tested immediately as the team prepares to integrate his physical style into a high-powered offense led by their young franchise quarterback. The strategic importance of this acquisition cannot be overstated as the Texans aim to elevate their performance from last year. Ranking 22nd in rushing yards, despite being 13th in attempts, clearly highlighted an inefficiency that the organization needed to address. The addition of David Montgomery is designed to solve this by providing a reliable, dual-threat option alongside Woody Marks. Why does this matter right now for the team? Primarily because the success of the passing game is intrinsically tied to the team's ability to maintain a balanced attack. When defenses are forced to respect the run, it opens up lanes for Nico Collins and the rest of the receiving corps to operate. Furthermore, the reliance on a few key skill players makes health a critical factor for the upcoming season. Montgomery's ability to remain available is a significant part of why he was targeted, especially considering that Joe Mixon was lost for the entire previous campaign due to injury. The front office's multifaceted approach also included drafting Keelan Rutledge and Marlon Klein, alongside the signings of Braden Smith and Foster Moreau. These moves underscore a collective effort to build a more robust supporting cast around C.J. Stroud. By bolstering the offensive line and tight end depth, the team is creating an environment where Montgomery can maximize his impact on every snap. This shift in personnel is not just about adding depth. It is about providing the necessary infrastructure for the offense to function at a higher level during high-stakes games. The focus remains on establishing a ground game that can alleviate the pressure on C.J. Stroud, ensuring that the team is no longer one-dimensional when it matters most in the final weeks of the season. The tandem of David Montgomery and Woody Marks is expected to create a potent 1-2 punch that the coaching staff plans to lean on heavily. While Marks showed promise last season with 703 rushing yards and over 200 receiving yards, his effectiveness was hampered by weather conditions during the postseason. Montgomery brings a proven ability to thrive in those difficult environments, having surpassed 1,000 rushing yards as recently as 2023. His capacity to contribute in both the ground and passing games gives the team much-needed versatility. The team's intention to run the ball often was confirmed through recent off-season moves, showing a shift in tactical philosophy. Jonathan M. Alexander of the Houston Chronicle noted that the Texans are making their goals clear by prioritizing players who can execute this power-based scheme. This transition relies heavily on the integration of these new pieces into the established offensive culture. For C.J., Stroud Having a veteran workhorse like Montgomery means he can focus on making plays downfield rather than carrying the entire burden of the offense. The team is also hopeful that this added dimension will prevent the late-season stagnation that hindered their progress in the past. If this new tandem can deliver on its potential, it will mark a significant evolution from the previous season's struggles. The coaching staff has signaled they will utilize Montgomery in various packages, ensuring that his influence is felt across multiple facets of the game plan. As the team moves through the offseason, the focus will continue to be on maximizing the effectiveness of this new-look backfield. The potential for a more explosive and consistent attack is exactly what the front office aimed for when they initiated these changes earlier this year, setting the stage for a new chapter in Houston. Looking closer at the internal roster dynamics, the reliance on a core group of skill players remains a topic of intense interest for analysts and fans. Aside from David Montgomery, the offensive success hinges on the health and development of players like Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and young talents like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll. Because the team did not add significant depth beyond Montgomery, the pressure on these returning starters to stay healthy is substantial. The previous year's AFC divisional playoff loss against the New England Patriots, where the team was without Collins, Dalton Schultz, and an effective rushing attack, served as a stark reminder of how thin the margins are in the postseason. That game underscored the necessity of having a reliable, healthy back like Montgomery to act as an anchor when other pieces are missing. While there is speculation about the potential for further free agent additions, the current structure places a lot of responsibility on the existing veterans. The team must ensure that the transition to this new run-heavy philosophy does not come at the expense of their passing efficiency. Balancing these two elements will be the primary objective during training camp and the preseason. The organization understands that CJ, Stroud's growth depends on his protection and the efficiency of the players around him. Montgomery represents the key to that balance, serving as the bridge between a pass-first identity and a more multifaceted offensive approach. The team is effectively playing a calculated game, betting that their improvements in the trenches and the addition of a veteran presence will pay off. For the supporters, the hope is that this targeted strategy will yield a more resilient and consistent performance throughout the long NFL season. As the team prepares for the upcoming season, the performance of David Montgomery will likely dictate the ceiling for the Houston offense. His 2025 season with the Lions, where he played in all 17 games, demonstrated that he can maintain the physical durability needed for this high-volume role. If he can replicate that level of availability for the Texans, it will provide the team with the stability they lacked during their playoff push. The expectation is that he will not just be a runner, but a cornerstone that allows the entire system to function more smoothly. With the pressure on the team to improve upon their 22nd-ranked rushing performance, every carry will be under the microscope. The front office has provided the necessary tools, and now it falls to the coaching staff and the players to execute the plan. The reliance on players like Nico Collins and Tank Dell to return to form while Montgomery takes over the backfield creates a clear hierarchy for the offense. This structure is intended to give CJ Stroud the support he needs to thrive in his fourth year. Whether the team decides to look to free agency for additional playmakers remains an open question, but for now, the path forward is tied to the success of the current roster changes. The focus remains on building a foundation that can sustain success deep into the winter. By investing in a player of Montgomery's caliber, the organization has made its stance clear. They are focused on establishing a physical, demanding style of football. As fans prepare for the kickoff, the spotlight on Montgomery will only grow, reflecting his status as the most critical new piece of a team striving to secure its place as a legitimate contender.